Good afternoon. This is the ShallowCross Sports Network with the AA bringing you a show. Today we're going to touch on the Memphis Tigers football program and see what the outlook is for the Big Blue Tigers of Memphis and to see if they can add to what they did in their 2024 campaign as far as they went 11-2 and had a bowl win. So we're looking for them to, I think they was picked third in the AAC, which is now, I think they call it the AC, the American Conference now. So we're going to touch on the Memphis Tigers. With that said, let's get right on into it. Okay, we're gonna touch on the Memphis Tigers. Memphis Tigers is starting that 2020-25 campaign, and just looking at the outlook on Memphis, they have a mix of expectations and lingering questions here. Let's looking at the breakdown. It says Memphis went 11-2, like I said earlier, and had the second best record in school history last year, but they missed out on the AAC title and college playoff berth. I think they lost a game to, I think it was Tulane, or either Texas San Antonio. One of those schools beat them out or stopped them, and they were not able to win the AAC. And so Memphis is eyeing a group of 5 spot to get there, and they'll likely need to go undefeated and win the AAC. Memphis has been trying to move into the Big 12 also, and that's another story, but they have to be able to make it to the 12-team CFP format. In order to do that, they have to win. They got to win at least 12 straight games. I mean, they got to win 12 games in order to get there. They got a 6-year senior coming in named Brandon Lewis, transferring in from Nevada. He spent some years at Colorado also, but he started at Colorado as a 5th-year senior. He got that extra 6 year of eligibility and transferred to Memphis. He threw for 2,290 yards and 16 TDs in the last season. So we'll see what he can do, because Seth Hennigan, he's down there trying to make it with the Miami Dolphins. I believe he's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't know what the status is on him as far as if he's going to make the team or not. But in another show, when I do that consolidated show, when I do all the schools in Tennessee that I cover, I'll talk a little bit about everybody in the ShallowCross Sports Show, and that's designated by out there on YouTube. It's designated by the ShallowCross Sports logo. So usually when I put a ShallowCross Sports logo up, that means I'm talking about everybody that I cover, and those teams that I cover is Tennessee State, Big Blue Tigers in Nashville, Vanderbilt Commodores in Nashville, the University of Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville, Memphis Tigers in Memphis, and the Austin Peay Governors in Clarksville. So with that said, let's continue on with Memphis. Memphis has got 2 real good running backs coming back, Greg DeRozers and Sutton Smith. Sutton, DeRozers averaged 7.5 yards a carry last year. Very elusive running back, very good running back. He's going to fall in the footsteps of the kids that's already in the NFL. Memphis has at least 3 or 4 running backs in the NFL right now. And, of course, I think the Roses is going to follow right in their footsteps. And then, of course, Sutton Smith's another good running back, a very reliable. He complements the Roses. He comes in and spells the Roses, and especially in the passing down. He's deadly in his passing down. Then in the transfer portal, they picked up a big-time receiver, Cortez Brown. He transferred in from Nevada, and he was a kid that played with Brandon Lewis. And so he gives them a big-time receiver like they had with the Becomsey and Rock Taylor. And so he gives them a big-time receiver that can go get the ball. And so we see what they're going to do. And then, of course, they got a big tight end out of the junior college ranks who's going to help in the passing game by the name of Bryce Anderson. Big tight end. Of course, I think last year's tight end, I think he was a free agent and he's in the NFL camp somewhere also. But anyway, they opened up at the Liberty Bowl with Chattanooga. And then on September the 20th, they have Arkansas. I don't know if that's a home game. We'll look at the schedule later on in this show, but I don't know if that's a home game or a away game for them. And then, of course, on defense, the Tigers loaded up in the portal. They picked up 10 players out of the portal, some new defensive backs, and 6 new linebackers. Florida State transfer O'Marion Cooper and James Madison, Chauncey Logan Jr. are projected as starters at corner and linebacker. So they did some work in the transfer portal on that. And so, like I said earlier, Coach Silverfield has really built a winning culture at Memphis, and he's 42-21 in the record and 4-0 in bowl games. So he's done some things there. I just hope University of Memphis can keep him in the fold for some years. I know I think his name is Scott, the athletic director. He's trying hard to get into the Big 12, and that would be one of the things that would probably keep Silverfield there in the fold. And of course, money is another thing too. But Memphis wants to stop flying on the radar. They want to make some noise, and they want to get deeper into their schedule, and they want that 12-0 season so they can at least qualify for the CFP. And of course that's possible. They're getting the players in. Let's look at some of the anchors on defense. O'Marion Duke Cooper, cornerback, transfer from Florida State. He's a lockdown corner. Has the potential to lock down receivers. Chauncey Logan, he's another corner, and he's a standout, and he's a lockdown corner also. And then, of course, he's going to start on the other side opposite Cooper. And then Jalen Bell, another one of the Tennessee State players that transferred in, and he's turning heads in camp. And so it looks like he's going to be in the rotation at one of the defensive tackle spots. And then Poodle Walker, another transfer from Kennesaw State. He's expected to rotate heavily on the defensive line also. Taylor Burton, another defensive line transfer from UT Martin, is going to add depth. And then, of course, the Trench Warriors, they call them, Chris Adams, left tackle, and Travis Burks, right tackle. Massive presence, 6'9", 315 pounds, veteran anchor on the blind side. And then Bakari Walker versus Austin Gentle, center. A battle royal at center between Colorado and Harvard transfers. So, Bakari Walker played for Colorado, I think, last year. And then Austin Gentle, he came in from Harvard. And then, of course, rising talents, Purdue transfer who flashed in the spring. C.J. Smith, another wide receiver. And Brady Cluse, another wide receiver, sophomore breakout after a solid freshman year. So, and then, of course, Christian Ross, a big tight end, sophomore tight end with red zone upside. So that's the offensive breakdown as well as the defensive breakdown for the Memphis Tigers. Memphis has depth across the board this year. So the secondary has depth, the receiving corps has depth, the defensive line has depth, offensive line has depth, running back room has depth. So he's got the pieces. Silverfield's got the pieces to win the AAC. And the strength is they got a veteran quarterback, 6-year senior, and loaded defense. So we just see what happens. Now the Tulane quarterback is back there too, backing up Lewis, and it looks like Lewis has won that quarterback battle and will be the starter at the beginning of the season. So BYU transfer Jake Retzlaff joins a competitive room strength, balanced offense, strong coaching continuity. Why does this matter? Tulane is Memphis' biggest roadblock to the AAC title. So Retzlaff is at Tulane, not Memphis. Retzlaff is at Tulane, and he's one of the best quarterbacks. He was one of the most sought-after quarterbacks in the transfer portal. He's going to be at BYU, so he's going to be at Tulane, which is going to give. That's the big challenger for Memphis. And of course, the South Florida Bulls was another one. I think the coach former coach at Tennessee, the offensive coordinator at Tennessee, is the head coach there. And he's slowly building that program up to where they can be competitive. And so I think his next Coach Golish, who's offensive coordinator at Tennessee with Josh Heupel. But they don't have to worry about the SMU Mustangs much because they moved on to the ACC. And so, but they still relevant as a group of 5 team. They playing a lot of group of 5 people, as their secondary opponents. And the other group of 5 threats for Memphis that they have to be able to show better and outperform, especially if they want to make the CFP. And that's Boise State, Liberty, Appalachian State. Those are the biggest competitors. Those teams, and of course UNLV in the Mountain West is a good team also. But I think UNLV, if I'm not mistaken, UNLV lost the coach that they had last year. And that coach, I think now, is at Purdue. I have to check that in my next. When I do my consolidated show, I'll check it for you and have that information for you. But if Memphis can go 13-0 and beat Arkansas, they likely leapfrog all the programs for the Group of 5 playoff spot. And even on a slip up could open up the door for Boise State or Liberty to steal the bid. Want to break down Tulane's roster or compare Memphis' schedule to Boise's. But anyway, let's look at Memphis' schedule, and then I think we went over the roster. I mean, not the roster. Well, went over all the new additions to Memphis's offense. I'm gonna pop that over to you real quick just to give you a brief look at it. But anyway, this is what our labs is saying that Memphis did. So you see all the orange people there. That's all the additions that Memphis bought in the transfer portal, and that's who's inked in as starters and so forth. A lot of this may not be correct as of on the 30th when they start, but it's close. And so, like I said, you can see Memphis did a big time job. But just looking at the, especially in the portal, but just looking at the schedule, so Memphis opens up. Let's see. Let's look at the 2025 schedule. I don't think they have the 2025 schedule out here, but I know they opened up with Chattanooga. Let's see. Yeah, our lads don't have a 2025 schedule, but I know they open up with Chattanooga, and on the next show that I do for Memphis, I'll give you the schedule, but that the schedule's upon us now, and I know for a fact that Memphis is going to open up with Chattanooga, and they have a pretty tough schedule. The toughest team they're going to face is going to be Arkansas, and of course Tennessee has to play Arkansas also this year. So with that said, though, that's going to end this show. And I hope you got some good information out of it, and know what Memphis's goal is, what they're trying to do, what they're looking for. They want to make the CFP playoffs. In order to do that, they got to go 13-0. They got to run the table. Got to beat Arkansas and run the table. They've got the players. They've got the athletes. They got the quarterback. They got the running backs. They got some good receivers. They got depth at every position. And with the transfer portal, Memphis has done an exceptional job bringing in players. They got a young quarterback waiting right behind named Hill, who's highly rated. I think he's out of Georgia. Highly rated quarterback. He's going to step in. He'll be able to learn from Brandon Lewis. And so next year they're going to be in good shape next year also. So with that said, remember to like and subscribe, and God bless. I'll see you all on the next show.